are brave. They are our inspiration, our hope, mentors, and game changers. They are your leaders in the political arena, business world, entertainment, and in the paradise of sports. We bring you their stories on the Profile 256. Let's sit, learn, and get to know them better than we do. Only on Shutia TV.
AIGP Asan Kasingye is a seasoned professional and highly learned police officer that rose through the ranks to become an Assistant Inspector General of Police. He joined the Uganda Police Force in 1989 at the rank of Cadet Assistant Superintendent of Police. Having worked as OC Station at Entebbe for 5 years and a short stint in Apache, he was transferred to police headquarters in August 1994 to launch a community policing and crime prevention program. He quickly forged ahead, working as the Commissioner for Community Affairs, the Public Relations Officer of the Uganda Police Force, to be appointed as an AIGP and first ever Chief Political Commissar. He was later transferred to Interpol and International Relations as Director in 2011 till April 2017. AIGP Asan Kasingye holds a bachelor's degree in Political Science and Economics from the Makerere University in 1988 and a master's degree in Public Administration and Management from the same institution in 2001. He has taken numerous courses abroad relevant to community policing and crime prevention. Afande Kasingye is a disciplined, humble, committed and focused police officer who will not rest until a social problem has been resolved. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome Afande Asan Kasingye on the Profile 256.
My name is Joshua Mitala and this is the Profile 256. We are blessed to have the former president of Twitter. You're most welcome onto the show, Afande Asan Kasingye.
Thank you so much, Joshua.
I'm really humbled to be with you here. It means a lot.
I'm also happy for having me on your show.
Yeah. I dedicated my time and passion to document profiles of people because I believe one day you'll not be here. But then what do the people get to know about you? So it's the purpose of this interview. So someone watching right there would like to know, fine, some have been able to access the book, chosen at 50K. But that one person that is not able to access the book would like to know, who is Asan Kasingye, where is he born, who are the parents? So we just need to dive deep into that kind of conversation.
Yeah. Again, my name is AIGP retired Asan Kasingye. I was born Asan Amara on the 23rd of March 1964 in a village called,
after Uganda getting
yes, in a village called Chibingo. The parish is Nyakashambia.
Which district is it?
Then we are in Shema municipality. That is the constituency now. And the district is Shema.
But before it was part of which district?
Shema was part of Bushenyi district.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. So my parents were Robina and John Kayokayo, who are deceased now. They died in 1992.
Rest in peace.
3 months after the other, and
natural death?
Yes, natural death. And since then, I've been the head of the family. I'm first born in my family.
Wow.
A family of about 14.
Wonderful. Same mom, same dad.
Yes.
So while growing up as a firstborn, since you're now head of the family, but what was the kind of a person that you are while growing up? Did you try to prove to them that, yes, I'm this kind of a leader, but maybe probably after a few years from now I'm going to be leading this, that you were interested? Because we've seen families that don't even decide to let the family be in the hands of the firstborn, they even give it a second or third. But for you, you're able to be given the responsibility to be the head of the family, even after your father or mother.
Yeah, I think now that I'm a parent, I know that firstborns have a responsibility. They have a responsibility over the others. And naturally, there are some leadership skills that develop just because your other siblings are young. And for me, it was not that you were a leader. For me, is because in whatever I did, my siblings wanted to emulate. And this is mainly on education. Because when I look back, we went to the same schools. In primary, we went to the same secondary school for the boys. And
okay, now you're talking about schools. What's that primary school that you had to go to?
We went to Chibingo Primary School. That's
For
the primary
7 years.
school in our village. Yes.
Shema.
Yes, for 7 years. For actually 8 years.
Wow.
Then from there I went to St. Kago High School in Busheni for 6 years.
Wow.
And
So
then I went to Makerere
St.
University.
Kagwa Primary Secondary School?
Yes.
We got your OB.
Yes. Yeah, St. Kago High School. Yes, in Busheni.
6 years.
6 years, yeah.
To now Makerere.
And Makerere
Now
University.
growing up as a son, apologies for calling you a son.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
What kind of a person were you? Did you see yourself having that political kind of a mentality? Is it sports? Or was it music? Because while growing up here is different. Some people are too much of sports. Others are trying to do politics. Others are trying to do maybe the other kind of stuff, maybe hobbies. What kind of a human being were you into? Grazing cattle, since you're coming from Western Uganda?
Yeah. I think all those. when you're growing up as a young person, I don't know how many specifically say I want to be this, but you find trying each and everything to be sure. I mean to be honest. Whether it is football, you play football. And yes, I am from a footballing family. My father used to play football, even at district level. Then, when it comes to grazing cattle and goats, we did that. We did that. We may have been in a land on a land that was so small, but definitely would graze cattle in a community, in a community way, where one family would look after cattle of about 10 families, okay? And the following, maybe for a whole week, and then the following week, another. So that one we did. When it comes to music, yes, I grew up in a family where my father loved music so much, and he used to go with a record player. I wasn't born in a gramophone era. No, I grew up in an era where we had record players, turntables, if you can. Yes, you can call it turntables. And he had one, and he used to go and play in functions. And I saw that when I was a young person. Wow. Personally, as I was growing up at the university, I used to have a kind of music system, right? That I would add this and that, and I also would do the same. So I've grown up, with love of sports, love of football, especially football. Yes. Now I'm adding on many other sports like rugby, like cricket. Then music has been, people, I think discovered that I had love for music when we were in the lockdown, COVID-19 lockdown. Yes. So I used really to dance a lot with my family. So that's the kind of growing up that I had.
Was politics among those things that you thought you'd get into while growing up?
I was exposed to political kind of temperature, if I may, around 1979. 1979 was not really a good year for a young person like I was, because there was a war. You remember the Liberation War, the Tanzanian forces entered into Uganda, and some of us who are from the West, it was very, very, we're in the theater. We're in the theater of war, if I can call that. So I could see the war impacting on us, and as young people would ask ourselves, why are we through this? Because we went through a lot. And then later on we understood that Amin was doing this and this. And as a young person, I had seen some people disappear from our communities. They would be taken and then would be told that they were killed. But later on, around 1980, 2 years after that war, then we had the elections, political party activities. UPC, DP, then there was also Uganda People's, UPM, Uganda Patriotic Movement, and also Conservative Party. I think there were 4.
Wow.
So it was easy to see,
so
but personally I wasn't so much involved in it.
Do we see that the situation or the political environment during that time inspired the course that you did at Bakay? This is political science that's no longer there right now.
Yes, they are. You can't say that in one way or the other. That also impacts you on so many things, including the courses you are going to take at Bakay University. That is one part, but there are also some other considerations. I cannot deceive you that I got points for law, and then I refused the law, and I said I wanted to do political science. No, that is not true. First of all, I qualified to do a Bachelor of Arts or Social Sciences. Those are the areas which I had qualified in. But now the subjects, it's up to you, okay? There are subjects given to you, but you are given leverage to change, the subjects. And I think for me, I was comfortable doing political science, economics, yes.
Wow, so we now look at Asan Kasingye growing up in a family where he's the firstborn, and I think he's the first son and child to join university.
Yes.
How was this kind of an experience when everyone is looking at you? I mean, you're supposed to set the example to the 13 that follow you.
Very nice experience. And I can tell you, at that time, this was I started HSC in 1985. And my results came that year. And I was supposed to go to Makerere University in 1985. But because there was another war, so I went in 1986. And I can tell you that the excitement of joining the university in every young person life in Uganda was so high. Why? Makerere University was the only university in this country.
Yeah.
And I think it did not offer vacancies to students of more than 6,000 a year.
Yes.
So now you can now imagine you are one of the 5,000 or 6,000 students throughout the whole country to go to Makerere University. I know in some sub-counties in this country, you'd find one student from the sub-county. So that tells you how I think we were very, very fortunate.
Okay,
to
now
be among those.
You get done at Makerere with your bachelor's of political science and economics. Now, there are very many jobs you could run to. Why did you choose the police?
I chose the police because the dynamics at the university at that time I made an informed decision to join the police and not any other department of government. First of all, we are all sponsored by the government and we all had to work for the government. And it was a policy that immediately you finished the university, you had to sit public service interviews. And so throughout the course, the course in political science, in economics, you're exposed to the country's political economic history, okay? Where we have been, where we are, and where we are going. But we also had people who would come to discuss with us about the country. The NRM government had just come into force that very year. Now, by the time I left the university in 1988, I was very sure I wanted to work for the police.
Wow.
Yes.
Do you regret ever working for the police at any point?
Not a single day, not even a minute. I am privileged to have served in my country in a department that I chose carefully, that I worked in for 33 long years.
Or maybe just because you entered as a cadet, yours have special kind of a treatment than people that are going to join as at maybe a level of senior 4, senior 6. You as a cadet, you had special kind of a treatment.
You may call it special, but I know people who joined as cadets who never even finished 1 year in the police. They had left. We also see in the army, there are graduates who come and start as private soldiers, but they grow up to generals. Even if I had started as a police constable, I'm telling you, I would have even reached the level I left the police. So it's about the kind of ideological grounding that you get. It's about the informed nature of your country. What is it? What am I serving? If you can't serve yourself, okay, it does not matter the level at which you join. But if you join with the outlook of serving the country, of serving the people, ranks do not matter. What matters is what you have delivered to the country. These things of ranks, they come as an addition for what you have done. Okay, a rank is like an appreciation for what you have done, and also realization that you can do at a higher level within the structure. Okay, it shows how you have grown in terms of understanding the relevance of the institution, and at a certain level what you can discharge. Okay, ranks shouldn't be there just because you want to decorate your.
So now, yes,
your
I get your argument. Now, what's pushing Asan to go for all these kind of levels of education, even after the degree, kept on going for different kind of applying for this, for masters and blah, 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 blah. What was pushing you to do that? Because the police didn't ask you to go, but you did.
Yeah, it's true. The police, according to what you're doing, the nature of the work demands that you must do a certain course. Okay? For example, for you to be a senior officer, you must do a senior commander's course. For me, I joined community policing and crime prevention, so I had to do courses akin to community policing and crime prevention. So if you look at the my initial courses that I did were in that field, in UK, in Japan, in Washington, in all these places. But academically, okay, the institution may send you or may tell you to go for this level, but I think it comes from within. And by the time I left, I had even registered for a PhD, okay? So I wouldn't settle for an undergraduate course, an undergraduate degree. I wouldn't settle for that. I would settle for graduate courses, and that is exactly what I did. Doing graduate courses, first of all, it comes from within. The demands of the work that we do, including our professional work, demands that require that at a certain level you must be having certain education background. And I can tell you that where we are moving, I could see that I couldn't settle for a bachelor's alone. I needed a master's course.
Why do you think you qualified as this first ever political commissar, something we didn't have in this nation?
No, we had political commissariat in the army. We also had a national political commissar, if you remember. So the police didn't have. Now, community policing is also relating with the public, and then how the public, relate with the institution. But it's part of what political commissariat does, because even political commissariat also relates with the police officers. How do they think? How do they serve? Who do they serve? And how do they serve? The country. So they need an ideological consciousness for them to be able to serve the population. So political commissariat therefore wanted a person who would do that, exactly that, to work within the institution, but also link the institution with the wider public, but also prepare the officers in the best way to serve the people. And the political commissariat is concerned with all those. And I think to the Inspector General of Police, then I was the right person to do the job.
Okay, that gets me to the question. You've been connected so much to the statement in Uganda, Police no muntu wa bulijjo.
Yes.
And the famous show that used to go on CBS.
Yes.
How did this get to start, and where did you get this idea of trying to bring the police closer to this down person, this person down there, the border, person who sells stuff on the road, no muntu wa bulijjo?
When I took up a crime prevention course at Stafford in the UK, one of the things that we did, part of the people who trained us were from the BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation. They would come and train us on how to engage the media, like I'm doing with you. They would train us on how to go on the radio. So we had radio studios within the institution we were in. Now, crime prevention and community policing, you need a media approach for people to understand what they are supposed to do. Now, when I came here, I realized that we had several radio stations within the country. There were not very many at that time, but they were there. I also realized that the people that we are trying to reach, most of them understand the local language. So it wasn't very difficult for me to start thinking about approaching CBS, Central Broadcasting Station, and discuss with the managers on the possibility of having a crime prevention program called Police no muntu wa bulijjo. So it was a mixture of the training, but also the demands of the job, where you have to reach as many people as possible.
Now, this episode belongs to retired AIGP Asan Kasingye, someone from Ishema district, but is now defying the odds. In 1988, he chooses to go on for political science and economics. After the bachelor's degree, many of you would want to go for the different jobs, probably do economics somewhere in the bank, sitting, those other posh kind of jobs. But he chooses a profession that many underestimated. And while there, he's defying the odds. He's not sitting onto himself. He decides to take on different courses while there. And now he's becoming the first ever political commissar in the Uganda Police Force. So now, while there, You know, there are different people that have served in the police or the army here and there, but you have a unique virtue, I should say. Most of the times, the people in the opposition don't like to associate with the police because they think it's against them. But before I came for the interview, I had to look around and then get to hear from there, and that feels like you've been liked by all the sides. How do you do it?
I think the most important thing is to understand your job. Understanding a job like the one I had of the police is that you serve everyone in the country, irrespective of shades of opinion, which include political opinions, which include economic opinions, cultural opinions. We transcend tribal divisions that we have. So a good police officer looks at as a common enemy, and that is crime.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So once you realize that, now you start thinking about how do I deliver what is expected from me?
Yes.
How do I deliver it? Now, these other things that we talk about, these virtues that we talk about, they come after you, as a police officer, have appreciated the kind of job that you have.
As someone that has taken on different courses as a police officer, do you think it could be the problem with those that are failing to do it right?
A job like the police, it depends on how not only how you perceive, but how you have been prepared. How were you recruited? How were you trained? And how were you advancing through the professional kind of jobs that you have? Now, the training that you're talking about is very, very important in the life of a police officer to take the right decisions at the right time. So it is very, very important. You don't do training, you don't have the courses, the relevant courses that you should have had, you are going to struggle to be able to serve the people.
So now you decide to take on police as for a job, starting as an OC station and here and there. Did you face any challenges? That's one question. But then how did dad and mom perceive it? Like, how did they take it up?
You see, as parents, it wasn't that you have got a job. No. My parents knew that I liked the job that I had chosen. Nobody forced me into that. And I was so happy. And I can tell you, people began to see my my civilian attire after I left the police. So every photo that I had on social media or I had everywhere, uniform. That tells you how I loved the uniform. So it wasn't going to be difficult for parents to know that I was doing something that I loved.
I didn't want to get into the Twitter conversation, but someone said that you retired from the police while you are still having your profile picture in the police attire. And then you said we should unfollow that particular human being that said that.
Yeah. Once a police officer, always a police officer.
Once
You introduced me as AIGP.
True.
So, and we all put profile pictures when we were young.
True.
Now, should we ask people why they are putting profile pictures of the age that is not theirs?
No.
Some put their children. Some put dogs. Yeah. Some put a Bible verse.
So mommy and daddy were comfortable.
You can put any profile picture. When I was in that uniform, I didn't buy, I didn't steal.
True.
I didn't force myself to be in that uniform.
You worked for it.
I worked for that uniform. So having my profile picture in a police uniform is not that I am impersonating anybody, because I was.
So now, you know,
because I was.
as a firstborn, hard-working police officers you get to see. Do you get to influence any brother or sister to join the police force?
Incidentally, I'm the only person out of a family of 14 people that worked for government.
Wow.
Nobody in my family has worked for government.
Wow.
It's only, maybe I have a brother who worked at the city council as a Lord Mayor. No, as a Lord Councillor. As a
In
Lord
Kampala?
Councillor, yeah, in Kampala for Makindye East.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was for one term, and he left. Other than that one, there is no one who has worked for government. So I didn't influence anybody.
Wow. Working for such an organization is at times challenging. Do you have moments you look up to and then probably say, I regret, or not regretting, but when you remember that moment, it creates some bit of sadness in your heart? Or you remember, like, yes, we were working for the police, but at this point, I felt so sad.
There is no single job that one would do for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 33 years, and then that you would not be able to meet challenges.
Yes.
Now, those challenges, me, I take them as challenges.
Yes.
I don't take them as regrets. Okay?
Let's look at them as challenges.
Yeah, so I don't regret anything, because for me, I know that everything I did to the best of my ability. But I take them as challenges at work. Yeah, definitely there were challenges during electoral processes.
Do you have that outstanding challenge? You're like, oh God, this was too much.
I normally point out the challenge that was in some parts of Bunyoro, to be exactly in Kibale, where because of the electoral processes, some people began to be looked at as this tribe and this tribe. So while going there to make sure that the place is pacified, yeah, you really meet. But of course, this is an expectation from you as a police officer, but it's challenging. Or if you were in Masaka during the Jambia time, and people are scared, you know, and it is going on and on, and so that's a challenge on how quickly you restore law and order. Or the murders of women in Wakiso district, that becomes a little bit of a challenge. But I can tell you, we're up to the task, and we did our work as it was supposed to be. And I'm proud of what we did to save the people of Uganda during that time.
You know, I've watched you several times speak for the organization that you've worked for all those years, and you've spoken passionately. There's a time you were appointed as spokesperson.
Yes.
And it didn't last long. And then people started coming up with questions, why is it not lasting? So why didn't it last as long as we expected it, or as long as the others lasted?
Are you aware I served as a public relations officer of Uganda Police Force for 4 years?
Yes, I'm aware.
How are you aware? Because you say it was a short time. If somebody served for 4 years, is that a short time?
No, it isn't.
Now, people forget that I was public relations officer for the Uganda Police 2006, 2007, and 2008.
And then
now, I come again in 2017.
Yes.
I served for 9 months. By the time I come back in 2017, I am Assistant Inspector General. I am above the rank, I'm above the duty of a public relations officer. And remember, somebody had just died Okay, there needed to be somebody to fill the position in the interim until when the right officer with the right rank for that office comes in.
No, I'm asking that question because I mean when I was trying to go through social media, these are some of the things that I got.
Yeah.
People were raising.
Yeah.
People were raising such questions.
Yeah.
I mean when I was trying to read through because I was preparing for this interview.
Yeah.
And these are some of the queries that came up.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking the question. I'm not asking it because I have special interest.
Yeah. No, I know that is. I'm explaining this to most Ugandans.
Yes.
Because I have had people think that the job was too challenging for me or whatever. I just want to inform people that I was chief political commissar of the Uganda Police Force.
Yes.
Okay? I was the director of Interpol and then brought back as chief political commissar of the Uganda Police Force. Now, public relations was an additional function. Okay? And mainly to manage and mitigate the problem that had cropped up. So it needed somebody at that rank to be able to do that. After that, then, because you see public relations is a department, and for me, I'm a director, okay? A chief political commissar, or remember when AIGP Kawesi was a public relations officer?
Yes.
He was also doing it as an additional function. His right office was the director of training,
yes,
or what we call human resource development.
And yeah, maybe it's known that very many of us, or very many Ugandans, may fail to understand, not until you get to explain to them as to why it was happening in that kind of way, because the comments that then happened were numerous. I cannot get to dig, point out so and so. Some of them are saying. I mean, the Honorable Kasingye, as he is, because he's honorable.
People wrote that I have refused to do the work. That
as you're saying, you're too honest to be a spokesperson.
No. A spokesperson does not mean somebody who is dishonest. Okay.
Yeah. That's what others were saying. It's not.
No. That is not the case. Yes. It doesn't mean that you are dishonest, and that is why you are appointed a spokesperson of the police. No, that is not true. What is true is that there was a vacuum, but there was also a situation that needed to be handled at that material time. So when the Inspector General of Police was appointing me Chief Political Commissar again, he told me that in addition, you are going to be the Public Relations Officer. He didn't call me to say, I am appointing you as a Public Relations Officer.
Yes.
Okay? He's appointing me back to the office where I was. And I remember him saying, maybe it was a mistake to remove you from that office and take you to interview.
I haven't reached that.
Yeah, you will reach there, you will find.
That's part of the book.
Yes.
So whoever needs to get a clear explanation how he was appointed and now he gets to leave, just get a copy of the chosen.
Now, may I add something?
It's all right.
That when I served as the Chief Political Commissar, for the period after being appointed, after the death of Kawesi, up to the time when I left the police, I was a force multiplier in as far as communication to the public was concerned. Okay? If anybody wanted any answer on any situation that happened within the police, I was ready to provide it. I remember going around through the media, on the radio, on TV, anywhere. Where was the difference between why wouldn't people say that time when I was in the media and I was not a public relations officer, I was dishonest? No. So the point is that a public relations officer of the police is a commissioner, is a head of department. Okay, and I was above.
Now, you see, it feels like very many responsibilities are landing onto one particular person. Is it because of the books that you had studied or the courses that when they looked around, they saw you're the most qualified candidate? Is it favor that you had?
No.
It's the books.
Maybe favor of God. Because for me, I believe that whatever we do, we are favored by God. So, and some people don't know that sometimes, not only favor, but sometimes you need luck. And I say it with all the assurance that I know what I'm talking about. But I also know that in whatever you do, you are being assessed by so many people, including the head of state, including parliament, including the people we serve, in the local governments that we go to, the people who listen to me, who hear me, who see me. So people begin to make informed opinions and on who you are and what you do. The things that you have done will always not be forgotten. People will say, he's done this, he has done this. He's capable of doing this, he's not capable of doing that. So I don't think it was any favor from anybody for you to do something. You may be favored, but you may not last long in what you do. I think it is a combination of that, but it's also a combination of personal commitment to work, to duty, but also the willingness to learn that every time there is something new and you need to take it in your strides to understand how it works. We didn't have social media when I was PRO from 2006 to 2008. We didn't have social media, okay? But now we have social media. Now, how do you deliver work in an environment of social media? So the more you quickly learn and be able to use the instruments that you have, okay, to retool yourself and be able to deliver is now what sets you a little bit a pace from others.
You know, what's baffling me, what's confusing me, what's perplexing me is 1970 while you're growing up, 1980s while you're growing up. Who opened up your mind to start thinking in a way of the 2000s? Because I believe there should be that particular person that probably was an inspiration to you. That yes, I'll go to Makerere and I'm not going to stop at that. Even against the police, I'll keep on getting this course, that course. I need to study, I need to enlighten myself, I need to go out of the country, I need to study, come back, yes, I need to push, I need to push. Where do you get this inspiration from? Very many of our colleagues, or my dad, or my uncle, or my whatever, that could have served in the forces, may not have gotten this opportunity of thinking that you had. It was exceptional. Where do you get this inspiration from?
I think the biggest inspiration is got from the families in which we are born in, the schools that we attend, the communities that we grow in, the university, how it shapes you. Even when you begin to work, the internal and external dynamics. In short, the environment in which we serve in shapes you a lot. Those of you who have done political science understand what systems analysis is, that any system that you see is also greatly affected by the environment around that system. And I want to tell you that every time I did my job, I related with several people. If I related with the media, I related with the civic leaders. Whenever I would visit, I would go to RDCs, I would go to LC5 chairpersons. Whenever I go to school, I would be told, one time I worked for Interpol for 8 years, for 7.5 years. And in those 7.5 years, I used to go trot. I used to go to different countries. And I would see how they do their work. The kind of courses that we take also impact on you. So, how this impacts me to be who I am is a myriad of so many things all intertwined together. And every time you remain a student.
Wow. That's quite interesting. Every time you remain a student.
Even now, I'm learning. I left the police. Within the 6 months I have left the police, I am learning. Probably there are certain things I should have done, but never did them. Or I am also learning that if you did something well, you serve the people welcome you with both hands.
So now, talking about serving the police and you're out, the Ugandan norm, I think it has been made a norm. Retirement has not been coming so easy in very many organizations. I'm not looking at which one, but retirement has been a very difficult thing to do. How do you wake up and you say, I should retire? To me, I feel probably it was a difficult decision to take. From a community, from an organization you served for 33 years, and waking up one day and you say, you're going to retire. To me, when I saw it on the news, it seemed rare. It seemed un-Ugandan. Un-Ugandan. I mean, you're retiring in an organization that needed you more than you needed it at that particular time. What pushed you to do that?
No, the truth of the matter is that people think my retirement is dependent. It was dependent on the age that I had reached the age limit.
At least I know.
And therefore, I had to retire.
Yes.
No, the appointment that I had requires to serve on a contract. Okay? Since 2009, I've been serving on contract that have been extended.
They've been renewed.
By this time, I applied for a contract extension and wasn't approved. So I had to leave the office on that very day that my contract ended. That's what is required of every person that is on a contractual basis. Okay? So I didn't wake up in the morning I said I want to retire.
It's the contract that was.
No, it's the contract that ended.
But you would actually be still serving if at all it was approved.
If it was approved, I would serve. Yes.
How did you feel about that? An organization with dedicated time, knowledge, invested to go ahead and study, and now you are applying to renew your contract and they failed to renew it. How did that feel? Did you feel betrayed?
No. When you work for an appointment like I had, and you have 4 contract extension renewals, okay? Every time it is going to be renewed, you go through that cycle, supposing it is not renewed. Now, by the time it happens, I'm telling you, your mind is already set because you weigh options. And that tells you that probably many people, including me, prepare for that day. They prepare for that day. Okay? There are certain things you may not may not happen to you. You prepare them, but they don't happen. But that does not mean that you don't prepare. Okay? So every time you know what I'm doing, we reach a point and it ends. So when it ends, does life end? No, life must continue, and here I am. You will not say, I will continue to do this at the same pace that I have been doing it. Sure. Now, but anyone who is working for government especially, now my realization is you should start preparing for your retirement on the first day that you sign your appointment.
Wow, it's quite interesting, and we are still proceeding with this particular wonderful, amazing, inspiring episode of the retired AIGP Asan Kasingye. He says, whoever is working, whatever job it is, could be government, a special actually, you need to start preparing for your retirement from day one. Just imagine serving the Uganda Police Force for 33 years, and it's time to renew your contract, and that particular point they deny renewing your contract. So what was next? Retiring peacefully.
Yes.
And he's still here, but life has to move on.
Yes.
So how do you find life after retirement?
Yeah, everything has two sides of a coin. There are the cons and there are good things and bad things of every situation. When you work for 33 years in an institution, that institution becomes a family.
True.
You understand?
Yes.
There are people you wake up in the morning and you make a call or make a call to you. There are people you talk to every single day. Those who report to you, your commissioners, your regional people, they talk to you every single day. Either they are briefing you, or you are requiring them to do something, or you are asking them about something that you want to know.
Yes.
So now, time comes, and you retire, and after retirement, immediately everything grinds to a halt. You don't get those calls, you can't call anybody, when you call somebody, it's like, what's the problem now? Why is he calling? And that kind of thing. So that you miss it. You miss that family you have known for quite a long time. Okay? But the good thing is you are welcomed into the arms of another exciting family. Okay? Sometimes this family saw you, they pray for you, they like you, but they don't want to come near you.
You know, you're confidently talking about this. Feels like you even had to go and meet a counselor that took you through this.
No, I didn't go through a counselor, but when you retire, you begin to get
a counselor of your own self.
Hold on. There is a huge catch of people who retired. Now, when you retire, they call you, no, settle, it is exciting, you will not want anything, you have done it all, people are happy about you, and that calms you down, and you say, oh, so all along, I was doing the right things, and I can tell you, you don't miss anything. Because you have left a family, you come to another family. And let me tell you, the family you retire to, I'm not saying the other one is not genuine, but I can tell you, these people that you find within communities, that call you for a party, that want to visit you, are real family. A real family. Okay? So you feel there is like a soft landing. Okay? But the other important thing is you begin trying to do now the things that you love to do, but you never had the chance to do that. Now this is the opportunity, okay, for you. But there is also that you didn't know you were capable of thinking very fast and doing certain things, and you are able to feed your family. Okay? 6 months, who feeds my family? It's me who feeds my family. With my wife and my family, of course. But now I think, if I do this, won't it be able to to push my family and I go forward. Look, when we're in those offices the people we see out there on the streets, in the villages, in their shops, how do they survive? I didn't know these guys, their brains are even working more than us who were in government offices. I am telling you this, and it is the truth. And I don't think anybody can come and challenge this theory, if it is called a theory, okay? That people out there, okay, who may not be having a permanent job where you receive a permanent salary, this and this and this, and every day they have to think about how to exist. Their brains work very, 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 very hard. If you have a product, you know that people need this product, so every day you are improving on your product for you to be able to achieve what you want to do, but also to survive.
Wow.
Okay? So I think retirement has brought on my table a different chapter that I can tell you everybody should be able to go through it.
Well, it's quite interesting. We're now going to talk about life after retirement, but before we get there, as a retired officer, I cannot start mentioning one statement or two that have been said about the institution that you served. Good, bad, and ugly has been said. What do you have to say about the police in Uganda in general? A lot has been said, but what do you have to say? I mean, they've been castigated. Even from the big man, the president, he has made different comments about the police.
We have a family. You are from a family. I'm from a family, but I have a family. When you castigate your son, your daughter, doesn't mean you don't like that daughter. Doesn't mean you don't like your child. The expectations may fall short, but you love your child.
I'm saying this because I'm a journalist. I work with an NGO that deals with journalists, and reports have been made. For example, from the Human Rights Network for Journalists, that's HRNJ.
Yeah, I know.
They've put the police or security organs among those number one perpetrators of journalists.
Yeah.
I feel so sad. I'm a son of a retired officer and being a journalist, and it's so bad that it feels like it's my dad now torturing me as a journalist. He's a retired officer. He's torturing me myself, being a journalist. When the report comes out, this breaks me down so much.
I think from the onset, what I wanted to show you is that the police should not be looked at as they have done nothing. No single thing they have done.
That is good.
That is good. If that was the case, wouldn't be moving in this town. Criminals would be doing whatever they want to do. Okay? Wouldn't be sleeping in our houses. They would come and do whatever they want to do. Okay? So, sometimes when you think about something bad somebody has done, you forget about the good things that person has done. Now, I wanted to dissuade you from the thinking that the police have done nothing.
No, I'm speaking following research.
I'm coming to that.
It's just a report. I read, I'm like, hey,
I am coming to that.
Yes.
I'm coming to that. So, police are trying to do their job through very difficult circumstances. And even when those reports are made, they don't refer to the challenges under which the police do their work. When you were interviewing me, you said, after I had done all this and this, what were my challenges? You asked me that question. But rarely do people want to understand. You can go and do a research and find out that somebody went to the police and the policeman asked them money, which is true. Now, you go ahead and ask, some don't ask, you go ahead and ask, what was this money for? The policeman said he cannot go to the scene of crime if I don't give him money, if I don't give him transport?
Fuel.
Yes, fuel, whatever it is, fuel or transport. The question is, did he have a vehicle or a motorcycle but didn't want to use it? A crime has been committed in an island. You are in Uyukwe or Mukono, and they have islands. A crime has been committed there. Murder has been committed there. People call and say, you police come. Somebody has killed another one. Now, a policeman who is this side must now use a boat, catch a boat, use a boat to go to the scene of crime. Probably it takes him a day or 2 days. Or sometimes he says, somebody has given me a boat here. What is the money? I don't have money. Can I have some 100,000 and I come? To a researcher, that is crime. That is corruption. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it is correct. I'm always saying that sometimes you need to look at the challenges people face when they do their work. Number two, I feel bad that there are still officers, that we still have officers over time who continuously get lost from what they are supposed to be doing, and they have decided to take a path of corruption, taking bribes from people before they do their work, or even abusing the rights of the people. You correctly say that some journalists were beaten. There is no single commander who sends police officers, you go and beat these people. You understand what I'm saying? And therefore, when it happens, the issue should be, are there mechanisms under which you can address these issues? Corruption, we must fight corruption. Everybody must fight corruption. The force must, at all costs, make sure that the police officers do not ask money from people. Bond, for example, bond is supposed to be free, but it's not free. Okay? This morning as I was coming here to work, somebody called me. I sent him somewhere in Kanyanya. And somebody, this morning he called me and said, they want 100,000. So I think that is something that should be fought. However, that should not crowd our mind that the police are good for nothing. We must evaluate the good things they have done vis-a-vis the things that they have not done well. And then we collectively look at how we can be able to address the problem.
Your explanation proves that we have some rotten tomatoes or rotten apples.
Definitely they are there.
Kaukumi, as someone
They are
said.
there. Yes, they are there.
Because
Nobody should deceive you that they are not there.
People can't be going, was it the UN officers and then they hit Cliff Kamala's head? He's a journalist from
Yes, I know Cliff. Yes, I know him.
He's in the university.
But sometime, I think in old Kampala or somewhere.
Yes. No,
is he not the one?
Yeah, from NTV, and then they hit his head.
Yes.
And this was a security personnel.
Yes.
Why would you get to that extent?
I am saying that every time that you have an institution like the police of 50,000 people, you are going to get someone who does something like that. It is not supposed to be there. She's not supposed to be there. But somehow something comes up.
So
the test is how you deal with it and make sure that it doesn't happen again. That's the test.
After all this, do you feel relieved that you're off these duties?
No. It is not that because these things happen and I am out, so I am relieved. No, this is not what I'm saying. My retirement has nothing to do with being relieved of what is in the police. Even when I am out of the police, I am working hand in hand with management and leadership of the police, now that I am this side of the divide.
Okay.
To tell them and call them and say, there is this and this and this and this and this. My opinion is that this should be handled like this and this. How I wish every retired officer did that. because you are a police officer until when you go down.
Yes.
You understand?
And
So I can't be relieved, and then with a knowledge and with knowledge that somebody is doing something wrong. Even when I am here, I correct that person who is doing it, and I say, no, you are not supposed to do that. You can't do that. And if you continue or you don't listen to me, I will call somebody who will bring you to order. Yeah. So this business of, oh, he retired, he has no whatever on us. Even if I wasn't in the police, even you as a civilian, you have the right to bring to order any police officer seen doing something that is wrong.
Well, this is becoming interesting. Your last statement about the author says, Asan Kasingye, I think I reiterate, Asan Kasingye is a disciplined, humble, committed, focused police officer who will not rest, this is the most important, who will not rest until a social problem has been solved.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are now going to talk about retirement. The book chosen is up, and we find three amazing gentlemen that talk about you. At the start, we find the Honorable Katumba Mala, former spokesperson Emilian Kaima, and your one and only brother. Why did you choose these three particular people?
It is not. First of all, my brother is already chosen because because he's my brother, and I talk about life from a family up to where I have reached. So somebody from the family would be able to cross-check and tell people that what I'm talking about are actually true.
Is yours the second born?
He follows me. Yeah, second born. So that he did his
Herbert.
Yeah, Herbert, Mugumia Herbert. He works for an organization called PI under he has worked in international NGOs for quite a long time. USAID, programs. But General Katumba Wamara was my Inspector General Police. Okay, so if you spend your time in the police, and it's in order that one of those people who were inspectors general, most people say inspector generals, but the right English is inspectors general, would talk about you. And General Katumba Wamara, like other IGPs, I'm not saying, I didn't put them in terms of preference and whatever. Each one impacted on me differently. General Kare Kaihura impacted on me differently, and I talk about him in this book. Of course, General Katumba Wamara. Then there was John Kisembo. May his soul rest in eternal peace. And John Kose, Odomer. Okay, these were my IGPs. There was another one called Biekwaso. I also talk about him. There was some again. He was a short stint. Okay, but General Katumba Wamara, he's somebody that I looked up to. Okay, and if you study me so well, if you look at me, the way I approach something, the way I do it, or whatever, you see some Katumba Wamara. You understand?
Okay.
General, you see General Katumba Wamara in it. He's humble. He's somebody with humility. He's somebody with if he says, I want to do this, if he promises, I am going to do this, he does what he promises. I don't want to tell anybody that I am going to do this and I don't do it. He's somebody who values the public. And I saw him in the police, that every time he wanted us to do something, he says, Katugende tubagambe. Okay? Kasingye, wachitogenda ku TV, n'ogamba abantu, ku nsonga ezikwata ku police bond. Gendayo. Even General Kare used to tell me, get out of your office. You go and tell people about this and this and this. So it wasn't very difficult to approach him. And I want to tell you, he didn't even want me to finish the story. He says, "You're writing a book? You want me to make a foreword? I'll do that." And it took him 2 days to write that. And in 2 days, I'd already got his signature. He wrote it under his hand.
Yeah.
Yes. So
And,
everybody needs somebody to inspire him or her at the place of work. And I'm glad that he's one of the people who inspired me. Another one was General Karen. I can tell you the truth. I could have gone to him, and he also writes the same thing, or maybe he puts it in a different way. But I thought that General Katumba Wamala would fit the
Cover.
Yeah.
And then Milian?
Emilian, you see, Emilian, I can say I trained Emilian.
Oh, yes, it's quite interesting.
I brought Emilian into community policing, and I was the head of the department of community policing. He was a young officer in the police, maybe 2 years in the police, and I brought him within the community policing program. He did excellent. Later on, I trained Kaima to work as a child and family protection officer, and he did so well. Much as he also went into land protection, but after land protection, Kaimau came and worked with me as a public relations officer.
Wow.
While I was a public relations officer of the force, he was my deputy in charge of Kampala Metropolitan. Okay? So our work was was complementary. And I can tell you, I didn't need to worry about Kampala because Kaima would do the job. By the time I retired, Kaima was my commissioner, acting commissioner in charge of education, in charge of communication within the police, which was under me. So I have known him for quite a long time, and I admire the way he does his things. He thinks them through, and he also knows a lot about me.
Yeah.
So the choice wasn't difficult.
Well, so those that may need to know more about the book, Chosen, they can get a copy. Is it online yet? Or not?
No, it's not online.
So whoever needs this,
They can go to the major bookshops in Kampala, in Entebbe, in Mbarara, but they can also order with me. They can send me a message on my on Twitter, on my direct messages on Twitter. They can send it on WhatsApp, 0707 71 21 20. Again, I repeat, 0707 71 21 20. Or they can pay via Momo. The merchant code is 636968. I repeat, merchant code is 636968, and I can autograph and deliver to wherever you are in the whole country. Even if it is in Arua, you will get your book in a day. So Chosen is available, and if anyone who needs it can be able to get it. Later on, we shall talk about e-copies of Chosen.
Okay. The online books.
The online books, so that they can be able to read their book and listen to it online, but something that is coming up as a different project.
Okay. Through those ways, you can get a copy if you want it autographed. I did get mine. It is already autographed. I can show you again that it is autographed. So I'm talking about projects that are being done after retirement. There's the book. What inspired you now go ahead, run into writing this book?
I think I would have cheated society, especially the young people, if I didn't put my experiences in ink, so that they can keep on looking at the things I did and how I did them, for them to be inspired to even do better, or to look at how I did something maybe wrongly, and then for them they would do it rightly. Number two, I didn't want Joshua to tell my story, because there are so many Joshuas, there are so many media people, social media people who will be telling my story, and most of my story, even when they tell the story when I'm alive, I see that it is half-baked. When I Google myself about Kasingye, I read somewhere, I joined the police in 1986. Okay? 1986, I was joining Makerere University. I joined police in 1989. So I want my story to be told by me.
Yes,
even when I am gone, long gone, people can know that there was this and this. But I also think that Ugandans, especially police officers, there is no book in the Uganda police force about anybody's autobiography. It's not there. So,
special of this.
Yes. So I believe that probably police officers can tell us their experiences to inspire young people to join the police, and also be glad in contributing to society.
So what other projects are you doing after retirement? We see the coffee with the cop.
Yes.
Maybe you could tell us about this particular one as we get to conclude this episode.
This is a community policing program.
Okay.
Coffee with the cop is that the members of the public are going to sit with the police while sipping a cup of coffee, and then they explain to them their problems. This is something that has been done, but I want it to be a lot of localized and reaching the person on the street, areas, in communities, reach the different groups of people, border, school children, taxi drivers, sweepers on the street and whatever. Ask them about how they feel they should be policed. Of course, what you have told us is the stories recounted and told by the media, okay? But the police should go and meet people on the street, and they will get so many views, opinions, complaints, so that they can go and plan to resolve those issues. So this program comes from South Africa, but Uganda and Kenya are beginning this program, and I'm glad I'm going to be the person championing this program. Wow. From the community this time, and I'm excited about this.
Wow. Any other projects you're doing after retirement besides the book and Coffee with a Cop?
I want to write a second book.
Wow. Is it going to be another chapter, continuation of this one?
This one is going to be specifically about the challenges, about the experiences and challenges of policing different communities in Uganda. Okay? Yeah, I think there isn't anybody who has talked about it. If you're a police officer working in Karamoja, what are you expected? If you're a police officer working in Arua, what are the experiences of working in that kind of community? If you're a police officer...
The way you're in a patch.
Yes, and that kind of thing. So what are the expectations, the challenges, and what you should be able to do as a police officer? I think it's going to help people whenever, police officers, whenever they are doing their work.
Family, you might talk about family?
Yes, I have a family, I have a wife, I have 5 children, but I have so many other children and that I call children. Yes, yes. And glory be to God that, that I have a family and that it's a nice family. It's a good feeling.
Okay. It's been a wonderful episode, and it's a dedication to retired AIGP Asan Kasingye. Get yourself a copy of Chosen. I'm now using this platform as well to market the book because it is an interesting book. And then takeaway for today is the time you're employed in that particular job you're doing by that organization that is not yours or a government, start planning for your retirement. And wherever you are, do your best because you're going to be evaluated. Those people that be in workspaces and then you keep on asking, why is so-and-so being promoted and me I'm being ignored? you could probably not be doing your best. So wherever you're employed, do your best and you'll be evaluated in whatever position you have. And thank you so much. Safi on camera, it's Future Media Production. It's been a special episode of the former president of Twitter, retired IGP Asan Kasingye. My name is Joshua Mitala. Let's meet in the next episode of the Profile 256. Thank you.
They are brave. They are our inspiration, our hope, mentors, and game changers. They are your leaders in the political arena, business world, entertainment, and in the paradise of sports. We bring you their stories on the Profile 256. Let's sit, learn, and get to know them better than we do. Only on Shutia TV.